So result, this is a program I want to discuss, and this is the example for nested if. So write an Apex program to calculate the student result and grade as below. We have 5 subjects. Let's say the student have written 5 subjects: maths, physics, chemistry, Hindi and English. So to find out the result, student result, we have sub conditions. Like result pass means when the student got more than 40 marks in each subject. Result is fail if the student got less than 40 in each subject. Okay. 40 marks in any of the subject. Let's take in any of the subject. If the this makes sense, right? If any of the subject the student got fail if he got less than 40 marks. If the student achieved 40 less than 40 marks, then the result will be fail. Okay. So let's take some more conditions here. So display the student result display the total marks let's take some scenarios. Calculate the grade as below, display the total marks. So then calculate the grade as below. So average marks and grade. Greater than or equal to 60%. Say it's a grade A. So 59%. Everyone has the way possibility to improve and um, to be on track. For me, this is the way I can chosen to improve myself. So this is good. This is good to practice, and this makes ourselves memorize every time. So it is always good to practice more and work so that only at one point of time there would be a more confident on you. Okay. Let's say this is the program and what we need to take right now. So write an Apex program to calculate the student result and grade as below. So the student have 5 subjects, let's say maths, physics, chemistry, Hindi and English. So in order to find out the result, we need to think about, if the student got more than 40 marks in each of the subject, then the result is pass. If the student got less than 40 marks in any of the subject, then the result we need to debug is fail. So here these are the grades when the student got passed. I can say when the student got failed, there were no grades. So when the average marks is greater than or equal to 60, that is grade A. And when 50 to 59%, then it is a grade B, and 40 to 49%, then it is a grade C. Okay, so let's take integer maths, physics, chemistry, Hindi, English, total marks, average marks. So let's say I have taken these variables. Integer is a data type. So maths, physics, chemistry, Hindi, English, and to hold the total marks, I have taken the variable total marks. And average marks, it's something we need to calculate the average of all those summation of those marks. So for that, I have taken these variables. So after taking these variables, we have to assign some values to those particular variables, right? So let's say for maths, I'm giving some 90%, and for physics, I'm giving 40%. Sorry, now we need to debug the positive scenario. So I'm giving 50%, and then chemistry equals to 95%, 95%, and then Hindi equals to 78%, English, let's say 95%. Okay, so what we need to remember in Apex, for every statement we need to enclose with the semicolon, otherwise there will be an exception. Okay, so for every statement the program should close with semicolon. So I am closing with semicolon, semicolon here, semicolon, 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 right? So we need to calculate the total marks for both the cases, like for pass or also the student got fail also, we need to have the total marks. So I'm just taking the total marks here. So total marks is equal to the calculation of the summation of all those 5 subjects, right? So maths, physics, chemistry, Hindi, and then English, right? So this is the total marks of all those subjects. So let's say what we need to check, the student result passed when student got more than 40 marks in each subject. So we need to take a if condition, and let's verify if maths is greater than or equal to 40%, and this is a mathematical operator, right? Physics greater than or equal to 40%, and chemistry is greater than or equal to 40%, and Hindi greater than or equal to 40%, and English is greater than or equal to 40%. If it happened, so what we need to verify? Student got pass. System.debug student got pass, and also the total marks of this student in all the subjects. So system.debug total marks. Total marks, right? So we need to take this total marks here. So yeah, else if the student have not received 40%, more than 40% or 40%, then what happens? System.debug student got failed. Right? If the student have not got more than 40%, then the student will fail according to the condition. Right? If it is less than 40, then the student got failed. So here also we need to calculate the total marks. So total marks are, let's take total marks. So for every statement we need to enclose with a semicolon. Okay. So yeah, fine. And then what we need to calculate here, the subconditions. What are those subconditions? The average marks, right? So we have done the system.debug. We have written the condition like if the student got more than 40 marks in each subject, then display the student got passed, and what is the calculation, or like we just need the total marks calculation. So for that I have debugged this. Okay, this is the debug log for the total marks. And if not, the student got passed, then in the else block it will go to the particular statement, and I have debugged by providing a message student got failed and total marks are also debugged. Now the subcondition is when the student marks are greater than or equal, or the average marks is greater than or equal to 60%, the grade is grade A, or in the range of 50% to 59%, it is a grade B, and in the range of 40% to 49%, the range is grade C, right? So we need to calculate those, or we need to debug those. So I need to take average marks here, right? Average marks is equals to, we have 5 subjects, 1 2 3 4 5 subjects, right? Total marks by 5, by 5. Okay, if average marks average marks if average marks is greater than or equal to 16%, it wants to be, if you see, this is one more if condition inside of the main if. So this is the importance of having nested if. System.debug student grade is grade A. Else if, so we need to check one more condition, right? Else it means we should check one more condition. If average marks So average marks is greater than 50, greater than or equal to 50%, and less than uh, less than or equal to 59%, 9% checks these scenarios. System.debug, system.debug, student grade, so grade B, grade B. The same way, else if, one more condition, else if average marks greater than or equal to 40% and average marks less than or equal to 49%, so to take like this, right, this, so less than 49%, okay. Now in this system.debug, student grade is grade C. Okay. This is how we can use one more if condition inside the main if. Let's verify this program. So in every subject, the student got more than 40%. So the result we were expecting, the student got pass and also provide the total marks of that particular student. Okay, let's take this. Debug this. Execute highlighted. Found punctuational symbol that is not valid in Apex. Okay, okay. Okay, sorry. So we cannot give the percentages here. So won't allow in Apex. Okay, let's verify one more time. Execute highlighted. Extra bracketed marks. Marks. Let's verify one by one. So integer, maths, physics, this is fine. Maths, physics, chemistry, this is also fine. Total marks, this is also fine. So if maths greater than or equal to 40, this is also fine. Student, this is also fine. System dot debug, total marks. Total marks. This is also fine. Average marks is equals to total marks. Right. Execute this and check once again. Next is simple, which is not a valid apex identifier. Just a symbol, unrecognized symbol. Let's debug until this and verify what happens. Stop. Let's verify until this once again. Okay, this sense like this. This block, else block, else block, this block, this block, average marks. Let's remove this one for a while. So this is like to active one by one. Yes, okay. Let's debug until this and verifying the results. Execute value. Okay, fine, fine. Now, we need to check the open log. So if you see the open log here, we got one debug log at 11:18 and just debug it. So student got passed. Total marks are 4, not 8. Okay. So at the same time, okay, if you see the total marks, so calculation of all these 90 plus 50 plus 95 plus 78 plus 95 will give you 408. And in the 12th line, okay, I have done execute highlighted, right? From integer on, from 18th line, it will treat as a first one and it provide accordingly. That's fine. That's not an issue. So the first debug log is system student got passed. So that is what here. Total marks are 408. Okay. Let's take any of these and make 30% here. And now execute. Okay. I think I need to comment until this, not until here. So which is making a problem, which I have not realized. Okay. So until this, it's a commentary session when multiple blocks were there. Okay. So now just debug until this, execute highlighted. And now verify one more debug log has been created at 11:20 and debug now. And now you can see student got failed and total marks are 388, right? So student got failed and this was showing. Okay. Now we have some subconditions that needs to be verified. So this is the main if, and we need to have a subcondition to verify. We need to take one more if. Okay. So if, so before that we need to calculate average marks is equals to total marks by 5. Total marks by 5. So and then if average marks is greater than or equal to 16, so and then what we need to print system.debug student grade A. So this is the student grade A. So then else if we need to verify one more condition. So here the average marks is greater than or equal to 50%. So 50 greater than or equal to 50 and average marks less than or equal to 59. So now system.debug student grade B. And one more else if average marks average marks greater than or equal to 40 and average marks less than or equal to 49. So then debug system.debug student grade student grade C. So there is no else to print anything. So I feel this is fine. Let's debug. Let's debug this program. Execute highlighted. And now we will get one more debug log at 11:23. So just debug it and see student got failed. We have taken something 30. So let's take 100 and verify once again. So when the student got passed, then only we have a grades for that particular student. Execute highlighted, and now there would be a log at 11:24 recent one and debug it. So if you see, a student got passed and the total marks are 458 and student grade A. So when you calculate all these, you will get 458. First thing we have debugged and we have printed the message like student got passed, and then it will show the total marks. Okay. And the one more debug, it was showing like grade A. So if average marks is greater than or equal to 60, it is showing student grade. So let's remove this debug only and verify what happens in the each statement. Okay. Okay. See here, these and are all the, if you see here in the apex, this is my understanding. So if you see, this is an integer, average marks, integer chemistry. This is a variable, sorry, this is a data type and this is a variable, and how much the memory it is allocated in the apex. Okay. On whenever I was giving the initialization, like I can say, I have not given any value here when I was taking the variable here. Okay, so that time apex treats or apex itself assigns as null. So on the first here, when on the first this line, okay, this line, right? So in this line, whenever without providing any value, apex by default provides null. So that is the reason we were getting the null here. Okay, and later I have assigned some value to each of the variable. Maths 90, physics 100, chemistry 95, English 95, total marks. Total marks, it's a calculation of all these 5 subjects. So it calculates and provides this particular value. Okay. So if you see on the, here it was like 12, but in our case, this is the one. I'll just show you. I'm just removing this entire this one, so you will get very clear understanding. Okay, so let's debug this whole program so that it will align with the debug log files and the lines as well. So execute highlighted. And now if you see, this is the recent debug log. Okay, and now debug only. So debug this. If you see the line, the first line integer, maths, physics, right? So it was checking all those things, and in the first line, what it was saying, maths is null, physics is null in the first line, Hindi is null, the same value to those particular variables. Okay. If you identify the debug log when it got printed is 12th. And we have also the debug log on the 12th line. Okay. So system.debug, student got pass. So here student got pass. And next system.debug, total marks are. So whenever the calculation is happen, it provides the total marks according to the values assigned. And now average marks is equals to total marks by 5. Since we need to check the subconditions, we require to calculate the average marks as well. So average marks is equals to total marks by 5, so that it will give this particular value. So on 18th line, so the debug means it is something we have printed in the system.debug. So here it is verifying this particular thing. So if the average marks greater than 60, so The average marks got 91. 91 is greater than or equal to 60. That's the reason we have got print. So the debug log has this particular message printed. Student grade A. Let's say I have taken 60 here. Okay, 60. So the student is passed because all the subjects he got more than 40%. Let's verify. Okay. Now the debug log which got printed at 1299. So now if you see the average marks, so average marks is 83. Okay, fine. 83. Fine. Okay. Let's take one more. Let's do 60 once again. Let's also take 60 here. Let's take here some 70 and verify how the values differentiating and the debug log is printing. Okay. So now what is the reason debug log? It's 11:30 and debugging this. Sorry. Now we'll verify all those things. Okay, student got passed and the total marks is 340 and average marks is 68. We need to remove. We need to give something less. 60. Okay. So now cross verify once again. So the reason debug log at 11:30 and if we verify here, student got passed, average marks 62. Okay. Now let's say this is a 50 for suppose 50, 50 or 53 or execute here, verify the result. If you see student grade B. So why student grade B? Average marks it is giving 58. So 58 means we have taken some. Okay, fine. We have taken, right? So if the student average marks is greater than or equal to 50 or less than 50, we were printing grade B. So it is working fine. It won't print this. So whenever it is the condition is false, it will directly go to the else if, and in the else if it will check the condition is getting true or not. If it is true, it will print that particular statement. Okay, now let's verify on grade C. So let's take 45, some 50 here, some 45 here, some 45 also here, 47 here, or some 48. Okay. So every subject the student got more than 40%, so the student will pass. But what happens now might be according to the calculation average marks, right? The grade will vary accordingly. Let's verify in the result in the debug log file. So now if you could see here on the debug log file, coming to here, student got pass and the average marks is 47. So now the student grade is C. Okay. Student grade, why it is C? Because this is not, the condition is not getting satisfied. So it will go to the else if and once again it will verify this particular condition and it will print this student grade C. Now let's take any of the subject as 30, which is less than 40. Okay. And verify the result. Execute this, and there was a recent debug log, and now verify here. Student got fail. Why it is fail? Because of the fact if the student the student got 30% in any of the subject, then the result or the debug should print as a grades, fail. So it will check every condition here, max greater than or equal to 40, and this condition is not true. This condition has not met. So that's why it That's why it went to the else, and the it printed this particular statement. Okay, so if suppose it has more than 40, then what it will do? So it will verify the main if condition, and also it goes to the sub if condition as well, and it will print that particular statement. If every condition specified is not matchable, then it will go to the else and it will print that particular statement. It is very simple. So if the condition specified in the main if is satisfied, then it will print those particular statements. If we want to check one more condition or the sub condition inside the main if, then it will go to that particular if condition and print the statement if the condition got satisfied. If not, it will go to the else block and it will verify, and it will print the false block statements. That's all about nested if. Thank you all. Thank you so much.